Welcome, everybody, to Sweet Home Catoosa. I'm your host, Richard Tharp, and today we are honored to have three guests. This is our first three-guest panel we've ever had on Sweet Home Catoosa. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we've got Rhonda James with the Fort O City Council, Taylor Hutwagner, Taylor, what are you over down there at Fort O? You've got a few hats.
Yes, it's the Economic Development and Events Director, which
Perfect.
it just is a lot of things.
That is a lot of things, and we'll get to talk about them all. And Bobby Daniels. Bobby, welcome as well. And Bobby, tell everybody what you do for us down
I
at
am
Fort
the
O.
tourism coordinator.
Perfect.
Basically, that's a small title for lots of things.
And all that implies.
and other duties as assigned.
That's great. That is great. So
I work with Taylor in the Economic Development Department.
Perfect. Yeah. And so, I'm sure you've seen the first episode. First one was we're talking about City of Ringgold. So I'm glad that we get to talk about the city of Fort Oglethorpe because there's so much happening down there in there everybody needs to know about. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you, and wherever you want to start, we'll talk about all the great things happening in Fort O.
Well, we'll start with, we did a few years ago, we had the RSVP. The University of Georgia, Carl Vinson Institute. They came in and we did surveys out into the public what they wanted. And the number one thing was a farmer's market. So this is where these two folks came along. Taylor was there and she had experience with the farmer's market. So we had her come along and start that, and that has turned out great. But not just a farmer's market, we've turned it into an event center, I'll say, an outdoor event center. We've got restrooms there now. We've got fans. We've got heaters. We've got fire pits. And in the winter, I know everybody heard about winter skating.
Yes, absolutely.
It's called glass, but we thought that was too close to something else. So we call it winter skating. And that was the first year they went out of town, and they can talk about a little bit more about that. But they went out of town and saw this rink, and we thought, man, we can do that. It's Stable 41. So I'll let Taylor talk about that.
Yeah, so it's not real ice, which is why it's called winter skating. And those old cutting boards that are like white?
Yes.
It looks a lot like that, but it's a really cool rink because you get 10 years out of the top of it, 10 years out of the bottom, like you just flip it over. And then when you retire these panels, they build houses out of them with Habitat for Humanity. So it's a really cool, no electricity, no water, just neat thing. And we had about
4,590 skaters last year.
Yeah,
To
which
be
is
exact.
crazy. Yeah,
That is,
and
first
so
year.
we heard all kinds of just great things about it. It skates pretty much like real ice. So
It's takes just a little getting used to because it is not real ice, but we actually heard from a professional skater just recently who has spent her life on ice. She says, after just a few minutes, I like this better.
Oh, wow.
For a number of reasons. Probably the biggest one we heard was, when I fall down, I don't get wet and it's not cold. Not if, but when,
That's great.
Yeah,
so where's that located down in Fort Oglethorpe?
yeah, so it's just off of Lafayette Road. So it's on 1st Street or 2nd Street at Sandwiches. But if you go down past the old Post Gym, which is now the Barnhart Event Center, and you go down Harker Road. No. What is that road? In-score to Hedekin. That's where you'll find it. So,
And if you're familiar with that area, we had a building that we restored, and now it's a gymnasium. So we have pickleball, which we'll talk about in a minute, but we have pickleball there a couple of days a week, and it's for beginners and for those more experienced in it. We have a lot of folks come that are in leagues, but that's indoor. And we have
so
the gymnasium
indoor
for
pickleball
Indoor
courts.
pickleball. We have 2 courts.
That's-
Plus, it's for the children. It's for the rec there where they have basketball and events there. And you can rent it out, too. That's something that we want to let people know about. We have that center that you can rent out that gymnasium if you're having a birthday party. I've rented it out for a birthday party. They'll set it up, but contact someone there at the city, and they'll let you know about that. But you can rent it. And then we have the pavilions. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, too. But we have all new pavilions. We got a lot to talk about.
You do.
But
we
Gilbert
do.
Stevenson, we have all new pavilions. The storm got us when it came through a few years back. So all new pavilions and all playgrounds, and it's for those of handicapped, I'll say capable, to do that. But we have that's set up for those children where they can go in there, and if they in a wheelchair, even. They can go up through there and roll up. And that's where we had our Easter egg scramble of 10,000 plastic eggs where we hid. And it took, I think, what?
About 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
3 minutes of fun.
Yeah.
But tell a little bit about what's going on with the pickleball courts.
Oh, yeah. So they are under construction. 12 new pickleball courts inside Gilbert Stevenson Park, with a refurbished walking track around that. That was one of the things we keep hearing and getting feedback about on social media. Will the walking track still be there? Yes, it will still be there. So
That's great.
We're just going to retop it. It's been delayed, but opening soon.
For
we
reason.
hope.
For reasons.
For reasons. I mean,
Sure.
weather and some other things. But I saw they were working on it today. So soon.
We decided to put in bleachers so people could watch.
Yeah, and that's great because so Ringgold just opened theirs, right?
Right,
And
right.
I didn't realize our youngest is 24 years old, and he came in and he was sunburned. We're like, where in the world have you been? It was on Saturday, and he's like, I was at the pickleball courts, and we played all day. And I'm like,
Yes.
you play pickleball? And he's like, yeah,
Yes.
me and my buddies. So it's all ages. My sister lives in Florida, and she's almost 60, and her husband go every day, and they go play pickleball for 2 or 3 hours, right? So it's just caught on to every age group. And they took a picture last weekend, and they just opened it, and it was packed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I heard indoor, I thinking, oh my gosh, so the days that it rains in the winter when it's cold, it's a year-round sport now that they've got places to go. So
And if
that's
you don't
phenomenal.
know anything about it, there's the paddles are there and the wiffle balls are there. So, and there are people, like I say, there are people from Eastridge and all the area that'll come and they'll show you how to do it, because I had no idea. I'd play tennis, but I had no idea. And they were real patient, telling you how to do it, telling you how to score it. And that kind of evolved into us having the outdoor. So it's first come, first served basis, but we're working through about having tournaments and things there and events. And it's right beside our pool, which we've upgraded our pool, and it opens up the weekend of Memorial Day. And we have all kind of folks coming in. We have Dalton. I think it's going to be the Sharks now.
Yep,
Fort
Fort
Oglethorpe.
O Sharks. Yep.
It's going back to, if you grew up around here, you remember the Fort O Sharks at the pool. So we're bringing that back.
Not real
that's a good-
sharks.
No.
The team, the Fort O
The
Sharks.
team, Fort O Sharks.
That's great.
And that brings in a lot of folks from everywhere. If you've ever been by there when they've had an event, there's
Yes.
RVs everywhere, there's
It's
cars
incredible.
everywhere, shelling each other. So
And we've
that's a
expanded
good
the
event.
parking too to make it easier for
Yes.
events like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when we redid the courts over there, we did all that. If you've ever been across that little bump over there, you know how bad it was. And we redid all the parking. It's all smooth now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
beautiful.
great. Yeah, that's such a vital part of all of our communities, right? Outdoor activities, recreation. It brings in tourism. It brings folks in. It's a great way for people to meet. And so, I just think it's great with what the two cities here in Catoosa County have done to upgrade the park and recs. It's just phenomenal.
Well, our theme is Fort O is family friendly. And we tried to do by the skating, we tried to do something for all ages. We've got rec for the younger ones. We've got pickleball for some of the older ones. But the skating rink, it came in and it took care of that teenage, because a lot of the high school and middle schoolers came out. So that took all the ages and
That's
brought
great.
them together. And that way they come out with the schools if you have a group. So,
Yeah,
and a lot of
several.
churches came out.
Yeah. A lot of large groups come out. Youth groups, high schools, middle school students.
Birthday parties.
Oh, loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have some other stuff for just anything in between. Like our next upcoming event is Picnic at the Post, and it is the 27th. So next
A week from
Saturday.
tomorrow.
Yeah. A week from tomorrow. And
If it's the 19th now, so that gives you
Yeah.
some context.
there we go.
Yeah, we'll air the episode. So it's the 27th Saturday. Yeah,
There we
we'll
go.
get it on next week, so it won't be when the episode airs. But yes, it'll air before, so make sure you go.
Yeah. And we've got some big equipment coming so you can touch a truck.
Yeah, so think
And-
police, fire, rescue, big equipment that kids see from a distance oftentimes. Okay, big kids too. See from a distance sometimes. We're actually going to get to touch the truck and honk the horn and flip the siren
Yeah.
and see what the lights are and see
we're,
what they do.
We're going to open up the tank enclosure so you can see the tank. So that'll be cool. And
Jeep selfies, probably.
yeah, we have some businesses coming out to host some games. So it's free. So bring a picnic and come out. It's 10 to 2, April 27th.
Yeah. So the idea is that folks will bring their own picnic and then enjoy the games, enjoy the touch a truck, and just spend a day as a community.
Yeah.
That's great.
Kind of like an old fashioned dinner on the ground. So
Yeah.
Old fashioned
fantastic.
fun.
yeah, old fashioned.
That's right.
That's right.
And that brings us to our Welcome Center.
Yeah.
We do have a new Welcome Center. You know, we had the 6th Cavalry Museum. And that building, if any of you grew up around here, you know that used to be the health department. That building was aging. So we decided still have those assets, but we decided to move them into the old library. And then, again, if you grew up around here, you knew you drop your books there. That's where you went to the library. But we redid the whole thing, and they're moving exhibits in and out so it's not all piled in together and get dusty or anything. You can go in there, and there's the old brick wall that says Fort Oglethorpe behind it. You can do selfies there. And people have utilized that. The first 100 people, signed the wall. But that's something that's open, and you can tell them the hours, and then that's open.
Yeah, and so it was kind of a long time coming because the 6th Cavalry Board decided to dissolve, and when they did, a new board was created, which is the Preservation of Stories and Times. And we actually just had our first trivia night there this past Wednesday, and so we'll do another one soon. But you can go anytime between 10 and 5 o'clock, and Tom and McLean are over there. And if you want to know anything about history, they are your people because they love it, and they have just discovered all kinds of new things. And so and if you're not into history and you just want a brochure, you can also visit because they have plenty of those things and they know what's going on. They have event flyers.
And if you want history at your own pace, we have redeveloped and are in the process of redeveloping the historic Barnhart walking tour. You can do it with a brochure. You can do it on your phone. You can do it virtually if you want to.
Which brings us into our new tourism website, which is where you can find these things.
Yeah, it's real simple. It's letsgoforto.com.
Thanks to
that's
Miss Rhonda.
great.
She named it.
I don't know where
That's catchy.
People were out walking one day, and I said, we need some shirts that say something. And I thought, let's go Fort O. To get people out walking on the trails. But
So Let's Go Fort O is the website for the fun stuff. And not that city stuff can't be fun, but you've got this idea of, you've got business meetings, you've got council meetings, you've got all the people paying their water bills and all this stuff. And the fun stuff or the tourism stuff kind of got lost on the website or got lost in a Facebook feed in amongst, business meeting notes and all those kind of things. So we pulled out and created this side of letsgoforto.com, which gives people a reason to stay, play,
Shop,
dine, all that stuff
discover.
in Fort O, and then discover. That's the history side. So you click discover, you go to the Welcome Center, you learn about the history, you learn about the exhibits that are going to be coming in and out, those kind of things. Plus, that's where we house all of the events, or most of the events, like Picnic at the Post and all the upcoming stuff. Stable 41 Market, which starts May the 4th.
May the force be with you.
Yes.
So, and by the way, it's the same on all social medias. We've pulled out the tourism, the fun stuff, and on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok as well. You can find us at Let's Go Fort O.
We have fun with that one.
Yes.
is it X now it's called?
Yeah, we're on X too.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
And yeah.
And you want to talk about the cookbook while we're there?
Why not? So actually, the cookbook lives on stable41market.com.
Yeah.
There we go.
But we're finally doing a cookbook called Fort O Fixins.
Again, shout out to Miss Rhonda.
Yeah.
I don't cook, so I thought, a
Yeah.
cookbook would be something.
So the idea is that this would become a fundraiser for the market, which is part of the market's goal is education. And actually, I'm going to let you talk about that because you're the market queen here.
Yeah, so the market's going to start up on May the 4th. We've switched to Saturday mornings this year. We heard from a lot of people that Saturday might be an easier day to come out to a farmer's market, so we're going to give it a go. So it's from 9 to noon, May the 4th through August the 24th. And then during June and July, we have a Thursday afternoon market too. And so that gives the kids and parents something to do on a Thursday afternoon. But this year we're introducing a Let's Grow Fort O kids program.
All the puns here, right?
I know.
You're doing good. You're doing
It's
good.
just great.
That's right.
And so we'll have free kids activities. So on May the 4th, we're going to make a Yoda snack for the kids because why not? And we're building raised beds so they can grow some things and see those things grow. So it's going to be really cool. Communities and Schools has been a really good partner with that. They're helping me out.
Yeah. And out of the farmers market grew the idea for this cookbook.
Yes. Thank you for circling me back.
Yes.
So the cookbook was probably an idea 2 years ago. And I finally said, you know what, let's do it. And we're collecting recipes. So you can submit a recipe on stable41market.com. And we're hoping to get at least 100 recipes to put in this Fort O Fixins cookbook and then have them for sale about midsummer at the farmer's market. So it'll be cool. We got a lot of things going on.
All these events that we're talking about, we're going to talk about some more, but they're on our, we got a lot. I feel like we got stuff going constantly. And Ringo does too, which is great. But we try to support their events. But we have a calendar. And this started last year. The chief, Chief Sewell, and some of the folks said, let's do a calendar. And we started out with the first month, which move on to February if you want to, because in January it has all the council members, because a lot of people don't know the council members.
That's right.
And it shows us in there, but every month talks about the events, and then on the back side you can turn it and it has phone numbers to call, agencies to call, informational items on there. But like I say, you can have your calendar and you know what events are happening, like the market, the International Night Out
Yeah.
for the
National
police.
Night Out,
That's in August. But everything's on that calendar, and we didn't order as many as probably we should the first year because we didn't know how it was going to go.
Right.
And those were a hit.
Still are.
And every
still
month it
are.
has local things, pictures of people that are out and about in the community. So that's been great. And you want to talk about the calendar a little bit more and tell them what all's in it?
Yeah, so you the resource directories in the back, it also tells, the citizens of Fort Oglethorpe when brush and trash pickup are or when your water bill is due. So it has just a bunch of good information for our citizens. And then we always get people who don't live in Fort O who want one. And if you want one and you haven't gotten one, you can go by the Welcome Center and there's some extras. So, and we try to give new residents as they come in for the first time to pay a water bill or something, we try to give them one too. It's kind of like a welcome to the city.
Yeah, but that's a great resource and tool, right? I mean, trash days or pickup days and the phone numbers. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I hear people calling and saying, where do I get a number for this agency or that agency? So
And you don't get phone books anymore.
No.
The coolest thing to me about the calendar is that, okay, it's got all this great information. It's got these wonderful pictures, but we hand deliver them. We take a couple of days at the end of the year when the calendars are printed. We divvy it up between the staff and whoever else wants to help us. We go around to every doorstep and place it on their doorstep.
And it rains
And
every year.
Every
On those days, it rains.
So now we put them in sleeves.
Yeah, we have them in a little place. But it's that personal touch, and it's a chance to connect with citizens. How many times, I saw it probably 50 times, someone's walking up at the door. Hey, it's my calendar. I can't believe it. They're opening the door. They're seeing we're coming around. I love that interaction with the folks who live in Fort O.
In about November, we start getting phone calls.
Yes.
When's the calendar going to come, to my doorstep? And so the people really love it. And so it's something we're definitely going to continue. And so
that was a
In fact, we
brilliant
put
idea.
it on this year's calendar when the new calendars for 2025
we did. We actually
are
put
coming
it
out.
on the calendar this year because I knew that was a question the ladies up front get a lot of.
Yeah.
And you can submit photographs. It was local people that submitted their photographs. So anything could be in there. You never know what's going to be in there. Or we try to take pictures of the events like the night out or the picnic at the post and things. We try to have all those in there so you can see that people are out enjoying themselves. And do we dare talk about Labor Day at the Post?
I'll let you go for it.
So, Picnic at the Post is kind of our kickoff event. It's a free event. And we sort of end the summer with Labor Day at the Post. It is turned into a music festival.
Wow.
Turned into a market. It's turned into a little bit of everything for everybody, and it's going to be fantastic. At this point, we're not announcing the artists.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Beginning April 29th, we will start announcing the artists. But we have something for everyone. We've got a Southern gospel group. We've got a stand-up comedian. We've got some local favorites.
We even have a magician.
We have a magician coming this year, although he prefers to be called a perceptionist.
Oh, I can't ever remember that.
I know, right? It's a weird word. Essentially, we have two headliners, but
I could hear the excitement in your voices that you're busting to tell us all.
I really want to, because
we'll wait. But
last
that's
year
exciting.
was great. This year's going to be even better. I'm just
And
telling
it's
you.
a free event as well. So
Yeah,
it's free. We have kids activities, inflatables, petting zoo. There's a classic car show. The Car Show Brothers do an
Yes.
excellent job, and they're so wonderful to work with. And they usually support some kind of cause too, which is great. And the Welcome Center is right there. So if it's really hot again, you can go escape into the AC. And vendors, food trucks,
Market.
a market. I
More
can't even-
barbecue because we ran out last year.
all the food vendors ran out. Yeah. So it's going to be a good day. And this year it's on September the 2nd. So make sure you mark that down if you don't have a Fort O calendar.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And
It's a
if
big
you
deal.
want to attend any of these, like when we get to the Christmas market,
Oh, yeah.
Taylor has it where you can go online and it doesn't cost anything, but you do need to let them know, because we had so many people come out and we had so many cars. They just went around Barnhart.
Yeah.
I mean, it was completely packed
Yeah.
with a car show. But we want to get in and tell them how that they can go online. It's Let's Go Fort O. It'll be in there, and there'll be a line item for each event, and you can go in there. And like I say, it doesn't cost anything, but we just need to know how many vehicles and things are in parades.
Is she speaking specifically of like vendors and participants in the event?
Yeah.
Not if you just want to show up.
Show
No,
up.
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
right,
no,
right.
no, no,
We
no,
encourage
no.
all that,
Yeah.
right?
Although if you just want to let us know, it helps us get a head count.
Yeah.
right.
They count, and it's, like they'll say 4 or 5,000, and when I count, it's like 10 or 15,000. So my
We
count,
love Miss Rhonda's numbers.
That's right.
it's exponentially more. So
All kidding aside, there was a good 8,500 people there last year.
Wow.
All kidding aside, it was packed everywhere you looked. There was the fun part is there were families hanging out together, doing their thing as families and enjoying the day. Oh, one thing that is different this year is that last year we had a little bit of downtime in between artists, in between acts. Well, this year, thanks to our friends at the City of Ringgold, they're letting us borrow their stage. And the stage is if you can visually think about it, you're looking at one stage, and just to the left is stage 2. And we're going to be bouncing back and forth. At the most, there should be only about 15 minutes of downtime in between each act. So it is just going to be act after act after act. It's going to be great.
That is great.
and it's hot, so keep that in mind. So
Yeah.
you might want to
We're
make
gonna
sure you
we're
bring
gonna get some extra tents too
Yeah.
for that.
Sunscreen,
plenty of water, plenty of water.
Maybe an umbrella for the sun. You never know about
Bring
the
your
weather.
chair.
Bring your
Yeah.
chair, your lawn chair. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be so much fun. I really wish I could just spill the beans, but I can't.
Yeah,
I know you can tell you want to tell. You
I
want
know.
to tell
I
so
know. I
bad.
could see the excitement. So that's great.
And then after that, we're going to do something different with October. So you want
Yes.
to tell them what we're going to do with that.
Well, we should say pending council approval.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you might see that tonight, Miss Rhonda. But by the time this airs, I'm hoping it'll be a thing. So we're going to start doing something called Fort O Fright, and that could take a different look depending on what happens. But the idea is to have some Barnhart ghost tours and maybe a haunted house or a haunted escape maze. And so we'll have more to come on what that really is going to look like when it gets approved.
And
So,
not to take away from Ringo
No,
Depot,
and-
Haunted Depot, but it will add to.
yeah.
Right.
In fact, this kind of grew out of that idea.
Yes.
I've served for years as one of the ghost tour guides for the city of Ringgold. And when we started talking about this idea, it was only natural to want partner, I guess would be the right way to say it, with Ringgold, so that we don't take away from what they're doing.
Well, a lot of people like
As-
two different experiences, right?
exactly,
Because that's what it
exactly.
is. It's like going to two different movies. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to the same thing, but it's a whole different experience.
So we're in talks with how do we combine our efforts to make it like a haunted Catoosa overall kind
Sure.
of thing. So it'd be a lot of fun.
And when him saying that reminds me too that we work together with Ringgold and with Catoosa County and even Walker County because I keep saying it's our community. It's
That's
not
right.
just our county or our city.
Yeah.
It's our community, and the more we can provide for families to come out, the better that we're going to be. And that's why we want people coming in. If they eat here or if they eat in Lafayette, it doesn't matter. We want them to come to our community and help our people, our vendors, and the folks that come out. They're local folks.
Yeah.
The market has to be within so many miles, so they are local folks. So we're helping them. We're not just helping
great.
people from
I
Atlanta.
actually have really cool news, Miss Rhonda. One of my vendors graduated to an actual business this year. So, the snow cone people that do the snowballs, they are actually putting a business in Dalton. So they've graduated from the farmer's market, which makes me so happy to be able to say, because that's the point. We give them a space to sell their goods and their, produce that they've made in hopes that they can one day, if that's their goal, have a brick and mortar location. So that was really cool. I found that out the other day. So,
It is.
yeah.
And I don't want to go away from this without telling something that we have too. Paula Stennett had the idea to have a park for veterans. And you can go over there, and if you want to do a marker, if you've lost someone or just in honor of someone, you can go over there and have a marker made, and that is a separate little area. There's benches to go out there. So if you just went in walking track, so if you just want to, or walking trail, if you just want to go over there and honor someone or look at the flag or enjoy that, that's at Honor Park. And then back toward City Hall, we have Bark City, which is something
park.
that I am so proud of. It was dedicated to my late husband, and that made me say, you just don't know what that did for him. He was still here when they dedicated it to him, but it means a lot to him. But right beside that, there's the Bear Creek and I didn't know the name till, for a long time. But anyway, it's Bear Creek, and we have disc golf. So I'll let Bobby tell you a little bit about disc golf.
So it's a 18-hole golf. It's a 9-hole course that you play twice with different tees or different. Is that right?
That's
Baskets?
right. Tees.
Baskets, tees.
Well, tees are where you start from.
Yeah,
So
tees where
that's
you start
it. You
from.
got it. That's
with
right.
different baskets. So every day we work there. Every day we see people out playing disc golf.
Rain or shine.
And all kinds of weather. I mean, it could be. We were walking the other day. We were racing to get back to the office because the rain clouds were chasing us, and there were people out there, and they stayed out there in the rain.
It's almost like it becomes a new hazard when puddles form.
That's
and
right.
They're
That's
just
right.
like, yes.
They love it.
More competitive, right?
Swim the water.
But the interesting thing about all the disc golf, the Bark City, the Honor Park, Gilbert Stevenson Park, it's all along the multi-use trail, which basically goes from O'Charlie's all the way to the Chickamauga National Military Park.
Around the canoe launch there behind O'Charlie.
That's true.
Beside
That's true.
O'Charlie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So, and we walk it daily. We see
Yeah.
people out there every day. Well, I don't know about daily. We're not as good as we used to be, but
We try.
we try.
That's right.
Yeah.
But there are people out there walking every day,
Every
even in
day.
the rain.
Every day.
And
Yeah.
using the
Yeah, and
dog
running
park
and-
every day.
Yep. Yeah. It's a nice.
It's awesome. And it's you think Fort O's so big, but when you start walking on this trail, it's what, 2 miles to Barnhart Circle from our office. And so it really puts it in perspective, like, oh, this is a walkable town, and it connects everything. It's nice and wide. It's great.
I
And
love-
people don't realize we have a canoe launch too there.
Yeah,
like
sure.
he was talking beside
I know
O'Charlie's.
Charlie's. It's really, I've been there for about 6 months now, a little over, and to be able to walk out our door of our office and hear people playing, hear the dogs in the park, you hear people running up and down or walking up and down the multi-use trail. It just gives you that sense of, maybe we're onto something here,
Yeah.
And people come over during lunch. We have picnic
Yeah.
tables at Bark City, and then we have picnic tables along the walking trail. And they come over there and bring their lunch. I see that when it's not just pretty weather, but
Yeah.
they'll come out in the rain and be sitting there with their umbrella. But we have picnic tables available and benches. So if you just want to come and watch the kids playing in the creek or digging their discs out of the creek,
Or ducking from a disc golf.
Right.
And it's 18 holes. It's
Yep.
9, and you do it twice,
Yep.
and it's 18 holes. So it's a regulation. The guy from Atlanta came up and had our first event for us, and and made told us all the rules and stuff. I don't know much about disc golf except hitting the tree, but
I still call it a frisbee. It's a disc.
It's a weighted
that's
disc.
Weighted disc.
And it's serious.
Yes.
Well, they are. Yeah, it's like pickleball. The people that do it, they really enjoy it. They're
It's
definitely
good
passionate.
exercise.
It is. And that's it. Well, and everybody wants to talk about growth, right? There's too much growth. And I don't disagree in some certain situations, but that hasn't hampered that small town feel, right? I mean, we might have growth going on, but we've still got great things that harken back to times when we all grew up to, give it that small town feel still, right? We haven't lost that. If anything, it's getting brought back even more, even though the growth is going on around it. So I commend the city of Fort Oglethorpe and what you're doing down there, because that's what we all grew up with, and that's what we want to have our children grow up with, and our grandchildren, and so on and so forth. And that's what we need in the community, is we need to have these outdoor activities and things to go as a family and connect, because life it's crazy right now, right? And so if we can come out to a picnic at the park, or we can come play disc golf, or whatever it may be, that's what we need. And so thank you, Fort Oglethorpe, for doing that, because that's incredible.
And we have a great rec association. I know a lot of us grew up playing ball, and then your kids and then your grandchildren, you're out there coaching them. But that's been there for years and years at Barnhart. We've been fortunate enough to have those fields there. And you remember, we now have two, speaking of, a little mowed trail going over to Chickamauga Battlefield. They were nice enough to cut a trail from Barnhart, so you can walk around Barnhart and read the markers, and then go over to the battlefield, and that's mowed out where you can get to that.
That's great.
So that was something that we did just this year too.
Yeah.
They were nice enough to do that for us, so working with them.
That's great.
And like she said, if you want to hear anything about the history of Fort Oglethorpe, the battlefield, anything, go by and see the Welcome Center. Tom is his name, and he can tell you everything about everything that you ever wanted to know. We're very fortunate to have him.
And if you look at the RSVP plan, which is published on our website and has been out in the public for a while, you can see that it's the Stable 41 is the beginning of something else in that area. When the bypass happened, it was a blessing, and it was a little bit of a problem because that removed a lot of the traffic from Highway 27. But it also has given us an opportunity. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth here, but gave us an opportunity to develop that area as our downtown,
Right.
as our historic district. And so the RSVP plan talks a lot about what could be, not what necessarily what will be, but what could be done in that area.
And there's 2 pages of progress already. Bullet points. I mean, people, if you haven't been to Barnhart Circle in a while,
that's great.
I think just about every one of those houses have been painted in the last year. Their porches are being redone. It's beautiful.
It sparked it.
It did. And, a lot of the businesses along Lafayette Road, I call it the Route 66 effect, but they've started revamping. It's starting to look really good down there and becoming that downtown feel for the community.
And we don't have a town square like Ringo, the downtown, or areas like Lafayette or Chickamauga. We don't have that downtown square. And so we're
we have
trying.
A circle.
We have but we don't have, where you can go and say, okay, this is downtown. And like he said, we're trying to make it that way where you can bring your family down and stay and walk. Everything's walkable in Fort Oglethorpe and
Or
have an
will be.
experience.
Will be. Yeah.
But
in that area.
in that plan, it had all the sidewalks and lights and things where you can walk down through there at night, and it's lit up now, but it'll be more lit up where you bring your family and you walk and you stay and you can park your car.
And there's a reason to come down there. I mean, it starts with Stable 41, and then whatever other development happens, we have our own ideas of what could be. Everything from a kitchen concept restaurant where they have like a central kitchen. I know that's the big deal. The biggest craze is to have a shared kitchen with multiple restaurants around the outer ring, or it's one single restaurant, or maybe it's a Battlefield Brew kind of place, or it's a coffee shop and maybe some, hotel motel kind of things, or shops, or whoever else.
Live and play.
Live and play, exactly. And it's creating that downtown atmosphere, but it's also an historic area, so you got kind of that flavor that goes throughout it.
It's great. Yeah. And it's ripe for opportunity down there. You could see it kind of coming along. It's kind of coming to life, so to speak. So it's phenomenal.
Had somebody in my driveway last night who's a Fort Oglethorpe citizen. We're friends with their daughter, and he sat there and he says, I am amazed to see, and he's a lifelong resident of Fort Oglethorpe, lived in the same house all of his life. He says, I'm amazed to see the progress that most people just take for granted. He says, I just want to let you guys know you're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up.
That was nice of him.
Yeah. And you actually know them.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's why we do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Quality of life. That's what we promised to do. And we have done that.
You have.
Well, and I'll say too, we have an excellent mayor and council. They're very supportive of all of
Fantastic.
this. I'm not just saying that because Ms. Rhonda's sitting
we
here.
do.
We do.
We
want it.
really do.
Yeah, we talked about this on UCTV a couple of days ago, yesterday. Just that, people like to look at what is happening in Fort Oglethorpe and go, oh, that's just a show. Y'all really don't get along like that, do you? We really do.
Yeah.
We really do.
We want to make it better.
Yeah, it's a great working environment. It's a great relationship between the council and the staff and the mayor. And I mean, it's amazing
I told Bobby when he came on, we're like a family. We
Yeah.
really are.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what translates into the community, right? Because people see it and people see the results of that. You can't get anything done if everybody's not getting along, right? Yeah. So
synergy happens when there's agreement, and we're seeing the results of that happening right now.
but you have a shared vision. See, so
Yes.
that's what matters. So
And we are looking at that plan, that RSVP plan.
Mm-hmm.
And like she said, we've done things that are not even in the plan that we didn't expect to do, like the rink or the disc golf. And we did that above and beyond. But then we still want to stay with that plan where we make sure that we grow that area more and we upgrade it. It may not be in my lifetime. I hope it is, but it may not be in our lifetime, but we've set it up for generations to come. And we want to continue that where they keep growing. And Fort Oglethorpe, is landlocked. We don't have anywhere to go. We have nothing as far as we can't add space to Fort Oglethorpe, but we can enhance what we have. So that's our goal.
absolutely.
Make it better.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for coming on and telling everybody about all the great things. And there's a lot going on and happening and coming, down the road here and everything. And we look forward to hearing who the headliners are going to be. And then you can let the cat out of the bag. I know you'll feel better too. So
I can let all the cats out of the bag between now and July the 29th, 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
there we go.
So
We
And
look forward
we
to
thank
it.
you for having us
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Oh,
it means a
thank
lot to
you.
get it out there.
Yeah,
Let
you're
people
welcome.
know what's happening in Fort O.
Well,
Let's
thank
go
you so
Fort O.
much. That's right.
let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go Forto.com, in
Yeah.
fact.
There you go. Well, thank you so much. And till next time, Catoosa County, thank you. Have a great week.
You and I as one will always be better than